There's a lot to see at the Henry Ford Museum in Detroit. One of my favorite things to look at is the Allegan locomotive. It's a very large train. This Allegheny train. Listen to the bell. And the whistle. Look at this train. It's just carriages connected together. This train runs on wood. Do you see those stacks of wood? Later on, trains ran on coal. We will ride on a train soon. I hope we take a train ride to Chicago soon. There's the Canadian Pacific. Look. Those big blades can push snow off so the train is not derailed. This museum has a lot of trains. It also has a lot of cars. These are just a few of the cars. This 1914 Detroit Electric Model 47 Brougham, that is actually my favorite. I like the vase that's inside. Yes, it looks like a carriage. The original cars were designed to look like carriages. They were called horseless carriages. Because they don't have a horse. That's right. Smile so I can get your picture next to the Bluebird. It's a school bus. Cheese! The museum also has race cars. Wow! People ride in these? They race them. And then, do they go really fast? Yes. Can girls race? Of course girls can race. Lynn James was a 7-time Indy 500 competitor. She even won Rookie of the Year. Sarah Fisher was a driver, owner, and entrepreneur. I like her pink outfit. Yes, girls can race too. Trevor Bayne was the youngest Daytona winner, and this was his race car. They never even cleaned it up after they celebrated. Look at all of that confetti still stuck on the car. There are even more cars. Old ones, newer ones. What do you notice about this car? It has no windows and it has no seatbelts. That's right. Here we have the original McDonald's arch. And a White Castle sign. An A&W root beer. These signs were big and fancy. They lit up and got people's attention, so when they were driving by, they would see, oh, look at that. I'm going to stop and eat here. I'm going to see what's interesting. That big flashing sign would make me want to stop. Me too. Imagine riding out west in a stagecoach. It would take a lot longer than the plane to get to California. I think I'd prefer the train over a stagecoach. This would be a very, very dusty ride. It would be bumpy and long too, but it is pretty. It is very nicely painted. This museum has more than cars and trains. It has airplanes. The Bird Arctic Expedition. Oh, they flew in this to explore. This is the 1903 Wright Flyer. There is no seat, only a hip cradle. You would sit there and try to fly it. This is the Wright brothers airplane. One of the first flights. Here's the Detroit News plane. It could land on the roof like a helicopter and also fly. It was great for taking photos for the newspaper. Wing walkers at barnstorming and exhibitions. People would fly and do tricks on their planes. After World War I, there were thousands of surplus planes. Nearly 10,000 pilots were trained for the war, and they were suddenly out of a job. These planes were called a Jenny. They were cheap and easy to fly. So, the age of the barnstorming began. Can women fly? Women were frequently not allowed in the flying schools, but some women went over to Europe. Bessie Coleman, she went to France because she was not accepted due to being African American in any of the American schools, and she was the first licensed African American pilot in the world. Her license was awarded in 1921. Catherine Stinson wanted to fly. No women were allowed in combat in World War I, so her family and her started a training school to teach young pilots the tricks of the trade. She toured the United States in a Jenny and raised money for the Red Cross. She was the youngest in a family of flyers, and she used the money to finance a career in music. Lillian Boyer, she was a waitress. When someone gave her a ride, she fell in love with flying and became a leading lady of the wing walkers. Look at all of those tricks she could do. They were traveling daredevils. It was very dangerous. Many, many passed away. They died due to accidents in the plane. there were many accidents. This plane is similar to Amelia Earhart's plane. She was a very famous female pilot, and she crashed. And they have not found her plane. They think they have some ideas of where it may be. But she will go down in history as one of the most infamous female pilots. The museum also has lots and lots of machines. Look at all those machines. Many of these machines were used to make electricity for businesses, factories, sawmills, whole towns. Felicity's up in the combine. Do you see her? This international harvester was a Model AW truck. Do you see the milk cans in the back? And we have other tractors. That does not have wheels. It does have wheels, but there's no rubber on the outside. No, they just had the metal and the spikes to keep it from sinking in the dirt. There's a John Deere tractor. Yes. And there's a Ford tractor. I'm looking for Great-Grandpa's tractor. They do not have any farmalls here that I've seen. Now they might have one, but I have not spotted it yet. Great-Grandpa drove a farmall. Yes, he did. The dymaxion house is made out of old airplane parts, left over from World War II. Again, surplus of airplanes left people with creative ways to figure out how to use the extra parts. We also have furniture here. Charles and Ray's chair designs. Look at that. That is cool. They just made it in the mold. Yes. I like all of this really pretty furniture. Me too. Turning technology into furniture, televisions, sewing machines, and so much more. Machines to design and mold the furniture. Look at this bandsaw. used to cut large pieces of wood into intricate shapes for furniture and banisters. They even have a courier shoe shop in here from about 1890. What is that? Let's go in and see. It was a shop made for shoe repair and creation. Wow! My shoes do not look like that. No, mine do not either. Do you see all of the tools? They make the bottom and the top and mold it. Wow. Now over here is something you might like. I don't think I'm a big fan of the ovens or the heating stoves. No, look to your right. Returning to your right. Doll houses! Yes. This is another area we will have to come back for. I really like to see the Montgomery bus that Rosa Parks did not stand up in. She sat down, and it started a wave of massive change. That was a big part of the civil rights movement. That is an important piece of history. Yes, it is, and I'm glad it's here. This is the Rosa Parks Bus. Yes, we can go on the Rosa Parks Bus. It's the bus that she refused to move on. Common Sense by Thomas Paine. This is the chair that President Lincoln was assassinated in. There is so much to see and learn here at this museum. I would like to come back to see the mathematics area. There is so much to see here at the museum. The Your Place in the 20th Century America, Your Place in Time, will be another visit. Hallmark ornaments. This was really fun. It is, but it is time to go. You see, they are getting ready for an event. People rent out the museum for events, so it's their time. We will come back another day. I would like to see the mathematics area and look at the doll houses again and visit the Rosa Parks Bus and all of that area. I know there is so much to see. We'll come again another day. Let's stop in the museum store. We had a good day at the Henry Ford Museum. Thank you for taking me. You're welcome. We will need to come back another day to see the rest of the museum. It was fun. I think so too.